All right, what is this? Police arrest 31 people with ties to white nationalist hate group near Pride Parade in Coeur d'Alene, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Lee White praised this citizen who called 911. They described seeing a small army of men loading up into a U-Haul at the Spring Hill Suites just up the road here. 10 minutes later, authorities made a traffic stop on Northwest Boulevard near the skate park. Police and deputies surrounded the moving truck, and when they opened up the back, they found dozens of men inside, all wearing the same clothes.
I thought it would just be a bunch of like rednecks getting arrested, but they're all getting arrested. They're all on their knees, handcuffed. Well, they're zip tied actually. Why are they using zip ties instead of handcuffs? Is this even police? I guess yeah, this is police. This is local police. Why are they using zip ties? Sure, fine. Use zip ties in the white supremacists. That's all right. Not enough handcuffs. They did have to arrest 31 people. Honestly, you know what? I'm fine with them using zip ties in the white supremacists. That's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Use the zip ties in the white supremacist wrists. They can. That's fine. Cheaper and tighter. Yeah. Also, it hurts more. You know, it hurts more to have tight zip ties on your wrists. Have you ever had that? Like, have you ever tried to like zip tie one wrist? I've done that. Like, I put a zip tie around my wrist before, just and tighten it as much as I could, just to feel what it would be like to have on one wrist. It's really uncomfortable and really, really like painful. Just one. Can't imagine what it'd be like to have both tied behind your back and get like shoved around and stepped on and knocked to the ground. Because like something you have to remember is when you deal with the police, and this is the thing that sucks the most. This is why I like made sure to deal with like the local PD before I'd possibly get swatted. Because if you watch a video of a swatting happening, worst case scenario is the police come in and they shoot you because of a misunderstanding. Best case scenario is they come in, they're fully well, they're probably set to semi, or they're probably not set to fully automatic, but they come in with weapons trained on you, and they're going to tell you to get on the ground. They're going to tell, and if you don't get on the ground quick enough, they might shoot you. If you don't do it quick enough, they might shove you to the ground. They're going to put their knee on the back of your on your back, and they're going to hold it there while they search your house. They're going to cuff you probably, and it's going to suck. And that is how every swatting tends to go, assuming like it's a first time swatting call. Like they go through. It is not a fun time. So yeah, these guys are getting knocked around for sure. Didn't say Simon Says. Yeah, that's the meme.
All wearing the same clothes. Coeur d'Alene Police Chief Lee White says the group appears to be associated with a white nationalist hate group. In all, 31 people were arrested and charged with conspiracy to riot. Police say the group had shields, shin guards, and
they're literally. I love that they're literally all dressed, ready to go commit a terrorist attack. They were literally all dressed, ready to commit a terrorist attack at that Pride. No, it's a bunch of armed white men wearing masks, like the same. They're all wearing the same uniform, and the uniform is a blue, like a Under Armour white shirt, like long sleeve shirt, a blue like Under Armour like overshirt, like short sleeve shirt on top of that. Some khaki shorts and a belt, or khaki pants and a belt, combat boots, a balaclava mask, a white balaclava mask, baseball cap, and sunglasses. And that's their little go out and commit a terrorist attack at a Pride event thing. 31 of them arrested. What do you think that was all of them? Is the thing though. Like how many got away and how many of them were in another vehicle that weren't even like on that road that weren't caught? Imagine being a militia group and your outfit to project the supremacy of the white race is khakis. Yeah, they look like DayZ characters. They look like they're really hard, like they're trying to cosplay Arma 2 DayZ mod characters. Any truers? Yeah, they look like a scuffed DayZ Arma 2 mod clan. 100%. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google Arma 2 DayZ hero character and like just go to images and look at what I'm talking about, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about.
And at least one smoke grenade.
It is clear to us, based on the gear that the individuals had with them, the stuff they had in the possession and in the U-Haul with them, along with paperwork that was seized from them, that they came to riot downtown.
Police say the men are from all over the country. At least 2 are from Idaho and Washington. Police say there was a lot of planning and preparation involved to keep today's event safe.
This is a planned terrorist attack, to be clear. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They had their masks on when they got arrested. They were driving to the Pride event to go commit a terrorist attack. The cops, like, listen, ACAB and everything, but, like, kudos to these police for stopping this, because this would have been national headlines, the big event that defined this year's Pride Month, the terrorist attack that happened at this Pride parade. That's what would have happened. It would have been this year's Pulse nightclub shooting. It would have been on that tier, no doubt, is what they were planning to do. 31 armed white supremacists, white nationalists going, like, fully armed going, yeah, absolutely. They had smoke bombs and shit. We don't even know where they were probably headed to pick up weapons too, because they're all from out of state. So I don't know exactly how this particular white supremacist gang works, so I've watched a lot of those. So I know that Now This has done a few. Speaking of which, they did a Now This cameo reference at the beginning of the new Jurassic World movie, and I was just like, what? What universe do we live in right now? It was either like Now This or Vice that was like investigative journalism inside. I watched one of the Charlottesville organizers and like the white supremacist, white nationalist guys there, and one of the of this like white supremacist militia like out in the backwoods, out with the good old boys out there. And in every one of those cases, when they plan to like get together and do something potentially illegal, they all live in different places. You know, like these groups aren't just all a neighborhood of people necessarily. Like they just said in the video, they're all like living out in different places. If you're going to go and break the law together, you're going to make sure that you spend as little time as possible in the process of organizing this, breaking the law. If they'd all had their guns on them through this whole process, unless they were heading there just then that's high likelihood of them getting stopped, arrested, and this happening to them. You don't want to have the guns on you and be ready to go out and shoot up the place or do whatever you're going to do until it's time to go there. They did have weapons on them, though, to be fair, but I would argue not enough weapons to do what 31 people would be there to do at a Pride event. Like, what are you going to do with smoke bombs and flashbangs? Like, that's not very... I mean, you can definitely kill people and, like, maim people with that. I mean, I've seen plenty of dead babies that have gotten killed from flashbangs going into a goddamn window because cops get called to the wrong house. But, I don't know. It just, yeah, it's still horrific, right? You have? Yeah. Did you not? Should we watch those? Would you guys want me to do a reaction to some of those documentaries? No, not that. Not, goddamn it, not the baby thing. The documentaries about the militias and like the backwoods. Obviously, I can't show a dead baby on... What are you talking about, chat? Come on. I've seen plenty of dead babies based. Listen, I grew up on the internet. Lives and react to dead children. God damn, you guys like to make my streams dark, don't you?
Safe and relatively uneventful. Organizers tell us this is the largest Pride event North Idaho has ever seen. Hundreds of people gathering here at City Park all afternoon. This year's theme was Exist Louder. The event started at 10 this morning. The crowd was entertained with a talent show and a drag queen dance hour.
There is, I won't specify, in my town, there is a house, a very expensive, nice, like borderline mansion house that has a goddamn furry pride flag out front. Why are furries always so rich? I get, like, they have to be able to afford, like, $10,000 fursuits and all that, but, like, is it because they're all computer programmers? Is that why? They're all in Silicon Valley? Is that why furries tend to be so rich? They're all in, like, tech?
100 people were in attendance, including several groups that came to protest the event. Yes. We saw dozens of people carrying guns. Those groups really stuck to the outside perimeter of the park. While the event was peaceful, organizers say the armed groups were there to intimidate people, and they weren't going to let...
Look how fucking pathetic they look with their little skull masks and their little piddly gathering. Like, it's just so lame and low energy, their little Nazi get-together compared to the Pride Parade, like, right across the street. This guy's got the Nazi skull mask on. For those of you guys that don't know, a skull, like, there's a lot of like white supremacist terrorist groups that are associated with wearing a balaclava with a skull face on it. And so a lot of the times when you refer to a group like, like any type of white nationalist type person at a protest there to do what these types of people are here to do, you usually refer to them as skull masks. You must be Antifa.
Let that happen.
We have been through so much, so much harassment and attempts to intimidate, on the psychological level. And the truth is that if you allow yourself to be intimidated, you let them win. And what we have shown today is that you will not win. Love will
Based.
win.
We saw a lot of police officers and sheriff's deputies.
Like, you have to remember at the end of the day, where we are right now with the, like, where people are, like, changing their opinion and where they're setting down on are culture war issues. And you have to remember the vast majority of people are going to choose what side they're going to choose in this issue based on two things. Who's letting who live their life and just do their thing, and who's being the one that's like imposing their will on others' freedom. Now, the right is going to lose on the fact that they are the ones imposing their will on others' freedom. The problem is the left is also kind of on the back foot in the sense that, I hate to break it to you guys, but like the vast majority of people want to be able to say whatever the fuck they want to say whenever they want to say it, and they don't want to like get canceled for it. And now your response might be tough luck, too bad, but that's not a very compelling argument if you're trying to get those majority of people to be amicable to your political beliefs. And it's sad, but yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people legitimately do just want to be able to say whatever they want, especially if it upsets and offends people and they don't want to face any consequences for it whatsoever. Audio, the internet's fucking up. We're in red. We're in the red right now. Sorry. Anyway, to be clear, by the way, unfortunately, a lot of people do just want to be able to say whatever they want, especially if it's offensive, because a lot of people, I know it sucks, but like a lot of people just kind of like for them, humor is just upsetting people, and that's what they find funny. Humor is subjective, and in a lot of people's subjective opinion, humor is just being able to offend and upset as many people as possible, triggering people, which kind of directly like contradicts a movement that is trying to push to make society far less hostile to groups that edgy comedians want to punch down on as much as possible. And it's really hard to win on that issue. I don't really know how you do. I don't know if you can convince people to, give up, so to say, their humor that's dedicated just defending minorities and that's what they find funny in exchange for caring about making the world a better place. It's a very strange position to be in as someone who's on the left. But at the same time, when it comes to the right is actively trying to push for the taking away of LGBT people's rights, which just generally and are more like, in the most vague possible way, libertarian society generally doesn't fly with people.
Not only in the park, but along I-90 coming into town, they really made their presence known. A lot of people attending today's event told us they were just really thankful to see all these safety measures in place. Reporting in Coeur d'Alene, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Well, there we go. Well, that was a prevented terrorist attack. Jesus Christ. Listen, Vosh recently got a lot of hate for saying that he believes a genocide on particularly trans people, but LGBT people in general, is imminent here in America. And I will personally admit, I do think that's a little bit hyperbolic. He said it's possible, not it's imminent. Sure, okay, if that's the case, then that's a little more agreeable. Regardless, though, my position is not too far off from that. My position has been for a while that now that the right is trying harder than they have in a while to make a genocide against LGBT people actually happen. There is no doubt whatsoever the right is trying harder than ever right now to make that happen. Whether or not they can do it, whether or not it's even possible for them to actually broadly engage in a genocide, that's questionable. But I think the fear, I think the worry, and I think taking action against it as though it is a possibility is absolutely warranted. Because regardless, what the right is doing right now is more aggressive than we've seen in a very long time. They realized after January 6th they can get away with just about anything. Wouldn't getting away with January 6th signal to you, if you were like a conservative like that basically all holds are barred, like all hands are off now? You can do anything? How many of those rioters got away? There's been investigations and tons got caught, but a lot got away. DGG Sickos took his argument and dipped it in acid. Listen, DGG is very, very dedicated right now to hating on Vosh, okay? Regardless of whether or not insert example might be a valid complaint or whatever, because that's always what DGGers like to do. If you say, I think Destiny is a little bit too hyper-focused on Vosh, I'll be like, what about when Vosh did this? I'll be like, okay, I do think that was valid criticism, but I still do think he's a little bit obsessed. He kind of like the gloves thing, the manifesto, the constantly watching his content on stream. Like, yeah. Zan, will you forgive me if I go to sleep now? Never. No. Leave my stream on while you're sleeping. This is my first stream of yours, and it has not disappointed. I'm glad to hear that, Bodhi Silva. Anyway, listen, if you enjoyed this segment, please consider dropping a like. If you want to see more from me, consider subscribing. Ring the bell icon so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. They just won't do so otherwise, and you'll be completely in the dark on any of my YouTube activity. You can also support me financially directly by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub over on my website, xanderhall.com/live. Or you can support me directly through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, and Patreon. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a good one.